Hi guys, I am really excited to present to you my initial draft for your home in Palo Alto. There's a lot to go over today, so today's going to be a pretty long video, but I hope by the end of it you're going to be just as excited about this floor plan layout as I am. So starting off, we're looking at the overall sheet here. You'll see the second floor and the basement level being revealed as we go through the design, but we're going to start right now zoomed out looking at your site plan. So we've got the north arrows pointing up, so we've got the north side here, we've got your morning sun coming around, your afternoon sun, or your noontime sun in the south, and then afternoon west facing sun coming in over this way. We're looking at the back alley at the southern side, which the city of Palo Alto is going to require we use for your garage access, both for the ADU garage and the main home garage, just given the fact that no one on your block, except for the corner property, which technically doesn't count, none of your other neighbors have garages at the front. So I think that's actually a bit of a blessing. I think it'll be quite lovely to see a full width home where this area here is the downstairs guest suite and this is the living room. I think it's going to be really, really great. But of course I'm eager to hear your thoughts on that. So what I wanted to do from an initial site planning point of view was locate the garages, and I think here and here on the west side of the property is ideal. You know, we'll have these spaces take the brunt of the afternoon sun heat, and we'll leave the living spaces here and here open to the east-facing morning sun. I like the amount of backyard space here we have between the ADU and the back porch and outdoor kitchen. And I think the full width front porch is just going to be such a massive curb appeal boost that it's going to make it so worth it having to go along this semi-long driveway to get to the garage at the back. So, you know, we've got one parking space here. We've already got a curb cut along the front that leads to, you know, I think it's supposed to be for a detached garage structure. But there's no reason why we should close that curb cut off. You should be allowed to have a guest parking space or your own parking space here to walk along to get to your front porch and your front door here. I think that would be fine. But if we zoom in, one thing that I want to point out from an overall site plan is I am really happy with the amount of light wells that I'm showing for this property. I think the basement is really going to benefit from the two light wells that I have going into the 6-foot side setback. So I have 7.5 feet here, leaving a 3-foot side yard. And I have another 7.5 feet here, but we're not quite full width here, so it leaves a little bit more space to walk along. So I do think this would be the walking path to get to the backyard from the front. But I think we'll touch more on the light wells when we talk about the basement again, but for now I think let's go ahead and take a look at the floor plan. So I think this is really great. So keep in mind the front door is right here at the top of the page, which perhaps is a bit odd, but I just like keeping north at the top of the sheet whenever I can. So our front entry is here at the top of the sheet. Our rear yard is down here towards the bottom. We would come in, step through this covered front porch area with an entry door that's in this recessed section, and the door opens up underneath a 2-story element that is open to the second floor above, that would have, I think, along here either a bench here, a bit of a covered built-in recessed bench area, or a bookcase that also goes up to form a little bit of a display shelf just about at the guardrail height at the second floor. So, you know, we can iterate on this, but if this was a bookcase, then this would be a bench, or vice versa. I'd like to have a bench for certain, and then some sort of display space, like a bookshelf or some cabinetry. But I think this is really nice. It opens right onto the living area, which, given that we're doing a craftsman style home for you, and we've got this covered porch with a motif of columns, I think introducing some columns on the inside would be appropriate as well, and this might be a great place to do it. From the living area, we'll have a hallway here that leads to the downstairs guest suite, as well as a guest powder room. And to get there, we've got a solid wall here, which would be great for some more display or some artwork or photos. So, it's not just a hallway of doors. It's a place to display things right here at the entry, adjacent to the living room, adjacent to the vertical circulation stairs. I think that's a nice thing to have. Looking at the guest suite really quickly, we would have a door that would open in directly across from a relatively small walk-in closet. Behind the door would be a display cabinet, so when the door's closed and whoever your long-term guest might be is occupying the space, when they look down this relatively long hall, they at least see something of interest and of note here, not just another flat wall. But inside this guest suite, we've got a queen-size bed with nightstands flanking it, a dresser across from that, and a desk as well, with a lot of opportunity for big windows here into a covered porch area. This guest has a rather large bathroom with a rather deep but curbless shower. Coming back out from this hallway, we would go past the stairs, which we'll come back to when we head upstairs and down. But we continue down this main corridor, and we see another hallway open up, which would lead to a lot of storage. This would be a walk-in pantry, and this would be a reach-in pantry. And this also leads to the mudroom that connects to the rear garage. So the mudroom here, I would envision we'll put a bit of glass here, to allow light both into the shower area and into the mudroom from this recessed alcove for the heat pump equipment. The noise-producing heat pump equipment will go right here. But the mudroom's amply sized. It's really comfortable. It's a great place to come in and take stuff off or store some overflow elements. But then coming through this sort of more utilitarian hallway, I think it's quite fine. There's an opportunity here for this to be some cabinetry rather than full-height closets. I think that might be a nicer, more welcoming look. And looking at this now, I think that's what I'd rather do. But I like putting the two zones of storage, both the step-in, walk-in storage, and the reach-in storage, whether it's full-height closets or some more decorative cabinetry. I like putting that in this double-loaded corridor here, and leaving this corridor for the guest suite and the powder, again, more decorative for art or photos. So I'm interested in your thoughts there. Going past this corridor, utility corridor, we get to the enclosed formal dining room. Just past that would be the grand kitchen with a lot of countertop space. There are a couple different ways that we could orient this, but given your request for 2 sinks and the 48-inch cooktop, I think what I'd want to do for your kitchen is this. I'd like to have some full-height cabinetry tucked into this wide wall element right here, and then low countertops and uppers to a dishwashing area with flanking dishwashers, and then that leads all the way to your full-height refrigerator columns that are really close to the nook and really easy access to get to from the family room and the outdoor covered patio. I think having one of these full-height cabinets here be an oven for the cooktop makes a lot of sense. It's relatively adjacent. We could also have a reach-in microwave, or I'm sorry, not a built-in microwave per se, but a microwave sitting on a shelf inside of this cabinet. I think that's the way I like to do microwaves now, rather than having them built into the face of the cabinetry. so much simpler just to have it on a cabinet shelf, and so much cleaner look too. Adjacent to the cooktop, we would have another prep sink here, which could also serve as a local hand washing station and as a pot filler for the island cooktop here. Now, I know you said that you wanted to be able to see the TV from both the nook and from the kitchen. I think it's quite visible, especially when prepping meals, washing vegetables here in the sink, and then doing the cooking here at the island. I think it's really quite visible. It's perhaps a bit odd to see a kitchen from me where the sink is facing directly into a wall, a solid wall. But I think with the flanking dishwasher idea here, the idea is to not spend time hand washing our dishes, but just to put the semi-dirty dishes directly into the dishwashers, let them do their job, and spend less time here at the big dishwashing sink and more time here at the prep sink, washing, prepping our meal, and let the cooktop area where you need to stand and you need to tend to what you're cooking, let that be the central focal point of the island. But like I said, there's different ways that we can organize the kitchen, so let's talk about your preferences before moving forward. Here will be the built-in nook. I'm not showing the built-in bench that would wrap around here, but I think this is an amply sized little nook adjacent to the kitchen and adjacent to the family room. And the family room's comfortably sized. I do think the dining room and the family room could be a little bit bigger, but I think, given the size of the bedrooms that you wanted upstairs, I think this is the right balance of square footage. But I am interested in hearing your thoughts about the size of the dining room and the size of the family room, which opens out onto a covered patio area, which then, of course, also has an outdoor kitchen pretty darn close, pretty adjacent to the covered dining area. And then it looks like we've got about 38 feet from this covered porch to this back wall of the ADU and detached garage. So it's not a huge backyard, but it's not nothing. I think it's a good proportion. It's 50 feet across, 40 feet deep. That's a nice 4 to 5 ratio. Okay, so now let's take a look at the second floor. So coming back to the stairs, we could go down the stairs this way to go to the basement, but instead we're first going to go upstairs to the second floor. And so we're coming upstairs and we get to a really rather large landing at the top that has a guardrail along here that lets you look down onto this second floor, down to the ground floor. And we have 2 bedrooms accessed on either side of that area here. The bedrooms are about 10.5 by 12. And both bedrooms have rather long closets. And from this area here in front of the bedrooms, we have access to a storage cabinet, as well as access to the bathroom here, which has its own linen cabinet here. Going back down the stairs, we'll walk past a laundry closet and some more display cabinetry to get to the master suite. The master suite is quite simple, but I think the size feels very comfortable. So we would open the door here, and we're looking diagonally across the room. The room is going to feel so large, and there's going to be a huge amount of windows looking out towards the back of the property. I think it's going to be really splendid. The master bedroom could have some full height cabinetry here with a door that swings open to allow passage into the walk-in closet proper. And then there is a door here that swings in to allow access to the master bathroom, which would have a shower at one end, about 8 feet of vanity space here, double vanity. The bathtub could be at a rather large window facing to the rear. And then access to the water closet will be here as well. And then back in the master bedroom, there would be a door that would lead out to a small balcony looking out towards the rear yard as well. So perhaps the one thing that I think is lacking a little bit in this design is the laundry room. It's a laundry closet here, and adjacent to that could be some additional base cabinets and upper cabinets for some storage or some display. Certainly we could look at scavenging some space from the walk-in closet to make more room for a laundry room that you could step in. But, I think this does the job. There's plenty of room out here to, I wouldn't want to say, do the folding out here. But I do think I'd like your input. Should we make the laundry room larger at the expense of the walk-in closet? Let me know what you think there. But for now, let's head back downstairs. Keep going, and we'll head down to the basement. So this basement is pretty awesome, if I do say so myself. There's a lot going on down here, so let's keep heading down, and we get to the bottom of the stairs, and we've got a nice wall for display right here. So some big art could go right here. But we have a door that leads into the flex room, where I'm showing some gym equipment for now. The flex room has a light well of its own, as well as access into this full width light well here. So this corner could be glassy. And I think that's a really nice feature for this gym flex room. It's got a nice walk-in closet as well. It's really more of a step-in closet, but I think it does the job. Back out into the hallway, we can continue past a wall of storage here to get to a downstairs ensuite. It's a decent sized room with its own walk-in closet. I'm showing the same dresser desk setup as I'm showing for the upstairs room, and it's got a nice sliding glass door that steps out onto a small light well. But I think it'd be nice and bright. It's got its own bathroom with a curbless shower again, so I do think that this is also a very nice guest suite. Past going out of the hall, we also have our centrally located utility closet, which with the door here in this long hallway should hopefully keep the rec room nice and quiet and not bring too much noise up the stairs to bother anyone in the living room, or I don't see anyone in the dining room being bothered, but I think it's a good spot for this utility closet. Back out into the hallway, we can go out. Now, we could either have this be open and not have a wall and a door here to the rec room. I think that would be fine, but based on your comment about not wanting noise to travel up the stairs and bother anyone on the ground floor up above, I think, it wouldn't be too terrible to have a door here that's maybe almost always left in the open position. Could swing in this way and just almost always be open. But when you're doing something loud and ruckus, you could close the door. So let's talk about this. Without this door, this wall and door here, it certainly does draw your guests and yourself further into the rec room, rather than having this sound-resistant door here. But once we get into the rec room, we're immediately in this large kitchen area where I'm showing building some refrigeration and some cabinetry in under the stair. And then on the other side here, this could also be a little bit of a storage area built under the stair here. But we've got this little kitchen area with a raised bar. This kitchen area is going to have some windows along this length here. It doesn't have to. We could certainly do a return of upper cabinets here and just have windows here and a high window here at the stair tower. But I'd like to take more advantage of this full-length light well by introducing windows here, if that's all right with you. The rec room is amply sized. We've got a dining area, ping pong table, more seating, and we've got lighting coming into this basement area along these two walls and along these two walls. This dimension here is only 3 feet for now. It could be deeper. I certainly wouldn't mind it being deeper so that people could step out more comfortably. But that does, take away from the backyard space. The deeper this gets, the less open yard we have. So for now, I'm saying, well, the minimum I could accept is 3 feet plus the winding 3-foot wide stair. It gets us back up to grade level. But I would gladly say let's make this 3 foot more like 5 foot or 6 foot. But I love that the light well turns the corner here, so that we're going to get corner glass opportunities again. And this is really going to stretch this rec room to a longer dimension. So in the rec room, we've got a TV wall here. We've got another space for furniture opportunity. And what I'm showing built along this wall here is some relatively shallow reach-in storage that can be chilled for your wine. So these can be all glass doors, and we can do something really, really fancy. Or since we're going craftsman, maybe it makes more sense for this to be cabinetry type, but it can all be chilled refrigeration with wood paneling. Or something else. To be honest with you, I started before by enclosing a much larger wine area, but I thought you might appreciate having this be a bit more open here, so I left this just as reach-in wine storage for now. But if we go around this reach-in wine storage, we have another little circulation hall here that leads to the downstairs powder room, as well as into the downstairs media room or music room. I've got a little bit of snack area right here, 2 long couches, and a step down here with the with the short wall here for the home screen. What's nice about this light well here that I'm showing is that it can allow for this space to be naturally lit. But we would just have a curtain here to draw across and completely darken out the space for movie time. But having natural light in your home theater, I think, is a nice thing to have, especially if this is going to be a music room. If this really is intended more as a music room, we might want to say, well, let's open up a window here too. Although that's a harder sell for me. I don't want to move the screen off center of this wall, so probably not going to open a window down here. But this light well here does serve the powder room and the guest suite bathroom quite nicely. Although I would say that all 3 of these windows here should just be frosted glass, because we're going to be looking up underneath a metal grate here that's supporting these 3 heat pumps. So it's by no means a pretty amount of light. It's not nice to look up here, so we'll do frosted glass, high windows, bring in that natural light, limited natural light. There's going to be a lot of shadows being cast here, but I'll take anything I can get. I'll take any amount of natural lighting I can get in the basement. Well, guys, I think that covers the first floor plan walkthrough for your property. I'm really eager to hear your thoughts on this and work on the next iteration for you. Thank you, guys.